Welcome to the Steady Trade podcast, everybody. Stephen here, sometimes known as Jeevan. A very exciting episode today. We're going to be talking about how we can dispel the myths of day trading, or maybe we can't dispel the myths of day trading. I mean, Tim, what's your opinion?
You know, it's one of the reasons we're doing the Steady Trade podcast is exactly that fact. I mean, it's weird the way things kind of come together. So we're going to talk about the myths of day trading, and, you know, especially how so many people get burned in day trading. So I seem to always have some stupid anecdote or story related to an episode, but hand on the Bible, this is the truth. My son had his driver's test. He's turning 16. So, you have to take the driver's test where you take your own vehicle, the instructor sits there, and then as the parent, I just sit in the back seat, and you cannot say anything. They basically tell you to shut up. But I think you're just there in case you crash your car, and then you're somehow legally responsible. But ironically, we got talking about, he asked, "What do you do, Tim?" And so I explained what I did, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I tried that day trading and penny stock thing." And he's like, "It doesn't work." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean it doesn't work?" And he's like, "Well, 8 years ago, he got a StockToTrade account or something and bought some wireless electricity transmission company. So like Tesla or like an Ayn Rand Atlas Shrugged type idea. Bought the stock at $1. It went to $1.70, which is a 70% gains.
Nice.
But how'd you know? So here's this guy telling me that trading penny stocks doesn't work, but Stephen instantly knew where I was going with this story, even though I have not told him this story yet.
No, so, honestly, yes. There's a lot of shizzle. There's a lot of shizzle on YouTube, and a lot of people saying a lot of random stuff. So I guess it's a very cool episode to air some of that YouTube content. There's a lot of learning in it. And for us as partners, as Tim and Stephen, as Batman and Robin, as Bonnie and Clyde, to dispel those myths. And basically, I've seen the videos, and I just want to put some people to rights. I don't know if that's an English phrase. I'm going to put them to rights. I'm going to hold them accountable for their words.
It might be an English phrase, but I don't think it's an American phrase. But I read through the lines. So anyway, before we move on to these videos of people that say that day trading doesn't work, meanwhile, remember I said 8 years ago he bought this stock. He was up 70%, and he's still holding this stock to this day at fractions of a penny. So goes from 70% gain to 99.99999% loss. Still holding 8 years later, and he's sitting there telling me day trading doesn't work. So
gotta follow the rules, baby. Gotta follow the rules. What did you say to him though? Because he's doing your son's driving test. Oh, it's just bad luck. Just bad luck.
No, again, I figure he's either gonna pass or fail to drive. I tend to raise my kids to be very self-sufficient, and the wife is before we go to this test, she's like, "Well, why don't you have him go parallel park before we get there, do this, do that." And I'm like, man, he's been driving for a year. He's either going to pass or fail. What we do 10 minutes before this test isn't going to make any difference. But no, I was honest with him. I said, you know what? I don't even remember his name. We'll call him Dave. But I'm like, Dave, you know what you are? What we call you in the industry? I'm like, "Sorry, you're a bag holder, buddy." And he laughed. And then I explained what a bag holder is. So I'm assuming this guy went home and told his wife, "Yeah, honey, I'm a bag holder," so.
Yeah, no, I mean, some people break the rules a little bit. Some people break the rules astronomically. And I guess this guy broke them astronomically. But a lot of people do this, and this gives it a bad rep.
Yeah, and again, that's where, he made one trade in his life. And again, he was up 70%, and it's and now you're going to tell me it doesn't work. It's just because he wanted, he had we're going to talk about cryptocurrencies and blockchain stocks. I mean, he had this idea of 500 or 1,000% gains, and who knows? The thing is, a lot of these people, they get those 500% gains, and they still don't take it. So
No, I mean, and that kind of brings us to one of the stocks that I'm actually watching. I guess for a couple of minutes, I can just say blockchain mania has been absolutely insane. I guess we can bring up a couple of the charts.
Yeah. Let me what ticker let me get it up on screen. What ticker you're starting with?
Two stocks in mind. One stock for this week, one stock for next week. The stock for this week was Mara. I thought it had every single.
Give me one. Actually, go ahead and explain. But let me share my screen for the listeners here.
I felt MERA had every single indicator to boom. I'm not sure what you'll think about it, but MERA, I'm not sure exactly what the company does, but it's related. It's got a subsidiary that's related to blockchain.
So first of all, we'll start here. Keep in mind, at the Steady Trade podcast, we're here for entertainment purposes only. We do talk about specific stocks. We do talk about specific sectors and, day trading specifically. But big asterisk is, this is not, investment advice. We're recounting our own trades or potential trades that we may be making. So now, Stephen, explain to me what you were thinking with Mara.
And if you do follow my advice, and you follow me advice on longs, there's probably a likelihood that you're going to lose. So, just do the opposite of what I tell you to do on the long side. But no. MERA was one of those stocks that I thought, yes, because stocks right now are flying on any blockchain news, ridiculous blockchain news about like accepting payment gateways and stuff.
Yeah, we've had stuff that has spiked, the best one, and we've talked about this in other episodes, is Long Island iced tea. I mean, they make like Elfin is a different one. This is LTEA and then became LBCC. But this company, all they did, so they used to sell soft drinks. They then pivoted into cryptocurrency mining. Their stock went up, I don't even know, 500 or 600%. Then a week or two later, they announced that they're going into Bitcoin mining, but you read the press release, you read the filing, they can't even, they say, this is the beauty of some of these stocks, they say in the press release that they want to get into Bitcoin mining, but they have no idea how they're going to get enough money to pay for some Bitcoin mining machines. That's in the press release.
MERA said they were going to purchase Bitcoin equipment or Bitcoin mining equipment, and there's actually some numbers in there. And I thought this is actually kind of legit news, and it's a low float. I think the float it's between 3 and 10 million. I'm not sure exactly what it is,
but it is low. Yeah,
but it's a very low float, and it's a former runner. And I caught this at 7:15 in the morning. If you can, I don't know if you can see the chart. If you zoom in.
So right here would have been So at 7 a.m. the press release came out.
I caught it at 7:50.
Stock was trading at about the high 3s, 380s, 390s at about 7 a.m. Yep.
I think I took it from about it pushed up and I took it from about 460. I don't know what you think. It's a bit overextended, but I thought the low float, the catalyst, the fact that it's a history of running, the fact that it's blockchain. I don't know what you think. What do you think?
No, well, number one, and actually this is something that you and I argue about frequently, especially something we will debate quite frequently in StocksToTrade Pro is, I'm not a huge fan of pre-market trading, and you can see that this stock, now you get huge moves in pre-market, but you also get quote unquote wonky moves, which you can see Mara ultimately gave it almost the entire move back after the open.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the idea, we've seen these stocks run, again, you mentioned LFIN. It went from like $2 to $150 in a couple days. So the thesis is sound. It's a Friday. These stocks tend to squeeze on Fridays. It was, it had news. Yeah. So other than being pre-market, I like the trade idea.
Yeah, so there was that, and I'm just watching LFIM because it's coming down to its support level on the longer term basis, and it's the classic.
Now, where did you get out on Mara? I don't remember.
Mara, I got out at about 510. It was a small profit. It was giving back its gains, so I got out.
Well, geez, so that's right. Beautiful. Again, I've got if you're watching, if you're listening, we do have the YouTube video. You will be able to see the chart. I tell you, I mean, it sold off hard into that 5. I mean, I think that was a great exit. The stock ultimately closed. If you held all day like my driving instructor, you'd be sitting on a loser instead of a small gain.
Nah, price action's everything. Price action trumps everything always. You've got to remember that. I learned that. Yeah, I'm watching Elfin as well. It's coming back down to support. That's a good one for next week. I think if you need to go back like maybe it's an IPO. Is it? It's a recent IPO.
Yes, yeah, recent IPO.
But if you go like if you can see like 30-minute chart, you can you can see better kind of you can see some levels of it's kind of bouncing back down to that support level around the 40s, 40 probably about 42 where it bottomed last. You can see that first initial spike that topped out, then it bottomed. Now it's coming back down to that bottom. I'm just watching it. That's all. I'm curious.
Yeah, you can see it's kind of an interesting area. Again, this is a recent IPO. Stock was at about $6 back in mid-December, and then went from 6 to 25 in one day, and then 25 to 150 the second day, and then had some volatility after that. And then you're right, kind of has based after that huge run in the low 40s, ground up a little bit, pretty much sideways, but now does seem to be putting in a little bit of a base in the 40s for sure.
Yeah. So. And it might crack and go down. I'll just watch it curiously, just in case it does ramp up off that support level.
And what we're doing right now, Steven's doing this. I'm doing this every day. A lot of people in StocksToTrade Pro are doing this. If you go to our YouTube channel, I did a video, just a quick 7 or 8 minute instructional video on how to scan for these keywords with StocksToTrade. So we're looking for blockchain, we're looking for Bitcoin, we're looking for cryptocurrency, all these terms. And even if you don't trade them, which these stocks are very volatile, if you're a new trader, there's nothing wrong with trading them. It is interesting and useful from an educational standpoint to just run that news scan and see what happens. Any time, it can be the most ridiculous news, but if they put blockchain in the headline, all bets are off for what these stocks can do right now.
Yeah, which I think Mora did not. And I think that's probably why it didn't run as much as it should have.
It's funny. I actually, I joked Friday morning because on my Twitter feed, because I posted some, those "you had one job" memes. And I'm like,
the PR should get sacked.
Yeah. I'm like, listen, Mara press release guy, you had one job. Put blockchain in the title.
Unbelievable. It's like day traders don't read past the headline most of the time. You cannot trust what to do that.
And and there, I don't have, I have not been inside, an algo type shop, but in my opinion, and people I talk to, a lot of that too, a lot of it's humans not reading past the headline, but I also think there's algos. There's computer-based trading that just sees that and starts bidding it up. Yeah.
Probably. But is there anything you're watching? Is there anything you've got an eye on? I haven't got that much, to be honest.
No, it's funny because I had this discussion Friday afternoon and, in StocksToTrade Pro, I do twice daily webinars every day. And, I'm just like, I almost felt bad because the last few weeks, we have not looked at any quote unquote real stocks. Twitter, great chart. Twitter's just been trending. It's a real company. But we've just been ignoring these because of blockchain mania.
Yeah,
and
I miss the biotechs.
Yeah, yep. And so my plan for next week is keep running that blockchain scan. It's super simple, but it's keep milking the golden goose. So.
Yeah, the biotechs are such good shorts though, and predominantly short. They're all selling to raise money. They're all selling extra shares to raise money. There were such good shorts into resistance. You don't see them that much because people aren't buying them up because there's better buys.
Yeah, and again, it's just. But it's. I always talk about the market's cyclical. We'll always. At some point. I think the blockchain stuff still has continued legs, but we have not. I think we've had like one that actually like did what they said they would do. So I got to believe at some point people are going to be like, forget this junk. I'm done, because none of these plays have like succeeded.
Can't last forever. Now, and the blockchain overall, if you look at Bitcoin, the chart looks like a bit of like a descending triangle right now, doesn't it? Looks like it might crack.
Yeah, obviously all of the what they call altcoins, which are all the cheap coins, that's kind of where those are like the penny stocks of cryptocurrency. But that's kind of where the action is gone, and Bitcoin is sideways. And if anything, you're right. I mean, it kind of looks, it went parabolic back there in December, and it's like it looks like lower highs, and I still believe long term, but it looks like it wants to wash out here at some point.
Yeah, but apparently Ethereum's got like a better. I've got a friend who's a total nerd, and he says Ethereum's got a better actual fundamental structure behind it. I don't know how. I don't know the correct words. It's better.
So I have, and again, I think we'll, as we progress into 2018 in the future, we'll probably talk about these more. I've stuck with just, again, and this is not any sort of investment advice, but I've stuck with just Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those are the only two I've traded so far because of the fact that Coinbase at least seemed like a very legitimate, a lot of these other altcoins, man, I don't even know where, they're very sketchy. So if you get into those altcoins for sure, if you have profits, I would wire your money out, wire money in and out. Don't leave money sitting in those exchanges.
Yeah. Okay. Tim, I feel ready to debunk some myths now. How do you feel about debunking some myths?
I like the idea of that.
I wonder if we'll agree on things. I wonder if we'll the same perspectives. But in store for the guys is some pretty, I wouldn't say crazy people, but there's some extreme characters on this video. There's some extreme characters.
So what we're going to do today is, one of the things we talk about all the time is the fact of that there is a realistic methodology to trading for consistent profits. Now, just like my son's driving instructor, quite frequently, people have unrealistic expectations. They expect to be rich day one. They expect to make ridiculous amounts of money, and they make bad mistakes because of that. So what we're going to do today is Stephen has scoured YouTube and has located some clips of some traders that in our opinion have some unrealistic expectations. And you might have thought these things yourself. You might have had your brother tell you this. You might have had your dad tell you this. But we're gonna dispute some of these. So
yeah, and just like trading, all you need is a laptop and an internet connection to trade. Unfortunately, with YouTube, all you need is a laptop and an internet connection to see whatever you want. So it ends up with a lot of people saying some crazy things. But as the truth validators, we're gonna debunk these myths or concede to them. You never know. Let's see. So myth one is a penny stock is a scam. Producer, roll that shit.
Guys, Patrick here, and today I want to talk to you about how a penny stock works. Alright, penny stocks are a scam. Here's how a penny stock works. Someone comes out and starts hyping up a stock that is trading on cents on the dollar for a share. And this company might have no real value at all. It's just a shell company. And the investor guru person will come out and start hyping up this company and getting people interested in it and say, they might not even reveal the identity of the stock or the company until a certain date. And then they'll say, hey, everybody jump on this. This is going to be the next big thing.
Okay, we'll stop there. Is Patrick correct? Is what he's saying true? And we are in essence criminals? Or is it false and he doesn't know his stuff?
Well, I would give him this. He is correct to a certain extent, but he is making the cardinal mistake in that he is using absolutes. And and yes. Now what Patrick is referring to is a pump and dump, which used to happen quite frequently. Doesn't happen quite as much, But the mistake, the flaw in Patrick's generalization is that he's throwing this wet blanket or this wet Steven Johnson pillowcase over all penny stocks and calling them all scams and saying that they're only move because they're promoted. Actually, ever since probably 2013, 2014, the stock promotion game barely exists anymore. We almost never, when I say we in the trading community, almost never trade pump and dumps anymore. 99 out of 100 stocks are not promoted anymore.
I mean, and for me, that annoyed me a little bit because Patrick is giving traders a bad reputation. And I mean, if I was into wildlife and I was a zoologist, that's like me saying all polar bears are all bears. Oh, wait. But some polar bears or some bears are brown. So Patrick is not telling the truth. And if I meet him, I'll tell him to.
Yeah, and again, that's one of the things that I think gives the the industry a bad name because number one, these companies, they're low priced for a reason because they need money to get their products to market if they ever do get them to market. But by basing his whole thesis on the fact that they only move if they're promoted or a guru or a newsletter gets behind them, I mean, that is completely flawed thinking.
Yeah, I mean, but to a degree, there is definitely a gray area. I mean, companies do release favorable press releases in the hope to get the stock up, and then it's not a coincidence that they then sell the stock. There is some scams out there, but the thing is, though, instead of just educate yourself about them and learn how to take advantage of them and learn how to profit off them. If it's a scam, then short it.
Yep. Actually, that's right where I was headed because, what you can do, and many of the most successful day traders, especially guys with bigger accounts, because, short selling, to do it effectively and to do it every day, it does really help to have a bigger account. And many of the most successful day traders, they short sell these stocks because, again, we've talked about this in past episodes. You can make money when these stocks go down. So just because they're junky and they fall apart doesn't mean you can't profit on that.
No, and companies will be companies. I mean, if I thought that I could get $1 million by exaggerating a few things, by saying I was a little bit better than I was, I'd probably exaggerate a little bit. Not really, because I'm pretty ethical to a degree.
Yeah, and again, keep in mind a lot of them. Now, I'm not sitting here. I mean, there's plenty of sketchy stuff in low price stocks, but a lot of these guys have great intentions. I mean, they honestly believe that if I can raise some money by selling some stock, I can take this idea to market. I can produce a good product. I mean, biotechs are like that. I mean, biotechs are a home run business. Now, are they spending millions and millions of dollars to develop these drugs because they know it's going to fail? No. They're trying.
Trying to save lives. And I'm shorting them. I feel terrible. I should not be shorting these stocks.
But ultimately, if you can't execute on that idea, if you open Steven Johnson's restaurant and you serve really shitty food, you had good intentions. You wanted to serve some of that crappy English, like when they put all that soggy fish in the newspaper, and you had good intentions, but nobody likes that crap. Nah,
I should just go to Denny's and have some 1,000-calorie bacon and with powdered sugar and syrup all over it. Us English people are healthy. But anyway, the thing that what I want to say is as well is a big company, they will lie till their last day to tell you that their big company is successful, and then they'll shut it down. So it's not just penny stocks that are scams. Big companies tell lies for their own interest as well.
Sure. All right, let's go on to the next clip here.
Is it true or is it false? All penny stocks are scams. It's obviously false. False, Patrick. It's false. You probably bought into one, didn't you? You divvy. It's false. Get educated.
I think that guy might have been my kid's driving instructor.
Patrick, you're wrong. It's false. All right, I'm done. It's over. Okay, next. Myth 2. There's no risk in penny stocks. Is there risk in penny stocks? Is there not? Let's hear Patrick.
What's going on, guys? This is Crazy Day Trader Dave. I'm in here trying to make some money. My wife said I can't take the losses I had yesterday, which I basically lost everything we had. We took out a loan today. We got $10,000, so I'm going to try and turn that into a victory for us. So I hope you guys are ready to watch me get rich, because I'm gonna do it. 9.5% down now. I'm just gonna leave the computer and hopefully I come back. Every article I read about it, every single one of them said it was gonna go up, and here it is. Look at it. It's down in the dumps. I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. It's down 32% just on the day. Somebody fucking tricked me.
Okay. Is it true that it's risk-free money and you don't have to do anything, or is it false and it's not risk-free?
Number one, I would like to start out with, again, I know Steven and I were laughing through that clip, but, listen, him and I have both I've taken probably thousands of losses in my 10-plus year trading career. I would never, mock anyone for losses. I would mock Steven for losses. That is the one guy on the planet I will mock. Now, so again, Crazy Day Trader Dave, we weren't laughing at you. We were laughing at the unrealistic expectations that you had that somehow yesterday you lost all of your money. I'm assuming you didn't learn anything new in that past 24 hours. You did not study. You did not review your trades, because I'm assuming in that past 24 hours, you've been spending time filling out loan paperwork, going back and forth to the bank to get more money to trade today, when it's obvious you did not learn anything, according to the video, since yesterday. And now you expect that you're going to, quote, get rich today.
Unbelievable. I mean, his expectations of thinking, I've just lost all my money, but I think I'm going to be rich today. But I think it's all going to turn around and I'm going to be rich.
And again, if you took 6 months off, or if you took 90 days off, or if you took a year off to study, paper trade, listen to the Steady Trade podcast, and figure out how to get better. But man, if your only problem is that you need to get your hands on more trading capital, I mean,
it's like
you're setting yourself up to fail. Yeah.
There's a number of mistakes. The not cutting losses, not doing proper research, having surreal, exaggerated expectations. My favorite one, or whatever way you look at it, is he was like, I'm just going to go out because it's down 15%. I think I'm just going to go out for a couple of hours and leave it and see what happens. I'm like, a few times in trades, I've walked out onto my balcony and just breathed for a minute and thought, Jesus, I hope this works out. Which is bad, but I don't leave it stop for 3 hours.
Yeah, I still, I'm still very proud of what we did on the first season, the first 6 or 7 episodes of the Steady Trade podcast, because we talked about in depth 2 things that Crazy Day Trader Dave did wrong. Number one, if you watch that video, at one point he said it's down 9.5% and he's going to continue to hold. So obviously he has no plan whatsoever, because he's got no stop loss at this point, because 3 seconds later he's down 32% and he's still wondering what to do. No plan whatsoever at all. And he said he didn't do his own research. He didn't eat his own dog food. He said everybody said it was going to go up. Everybody said this. So lack of research, no plan. I wish you would have listened to season 1 of the Steady Trade podcast.
Don't follow anyone else's trades, because people trade and see things differently to how you feel. Don't believe in news. Price action trumps everything. That Mara stock that was spoke about earlier, that news sounded phenomenal, But the minute the price action looks dodgy, I'm like, people know some shit that I don't know. I'm getting out. I'm not in control of this situation. I'm getting out. By the way, I've learned this by taking $1,000 losses. By the way, this is how I know. I'm like, this is not the next big loss.
And now you turned that trade, and I mean, it was a winning trade. I know you weren't happy with the profits, but again, if you had no plan and you pulled a crazy day trader Dave, at the end of the day, you'd be down 20%.
Imagine you're averaging down as well. Averaging down. It's got to come back. I think at one point in the bigger clip of the video, he says, I'm down about 15%. I'm just going to throw some more at it. I'm just going to throw some more. I've still got another $2,000 of the $10,000 loan. I'm just going to throw some more at it. And it's like, you feel horrific after you've done that a couple of times in a row. Like, it ruins 3 or 4 days of your life. And you just think, I'm not letting that happen to me today again. I'm not doing it.
So again, back to the true or false. The true or false is whether or not there is risk in day trading. There is extreme risk in any investment. Again, you could buy an apartment building and the thing falls down the next day. I mean, any investment, any speculation has a lot of risk. Now, one of the reasons that Stephen and I love penny stocks is the flip side is there's a lot of potential reward. One of the reasons that we trade these stocks is they have the ability to go up 10, 20, 50, 100 or 1,000% in one day. But when you think about it, they can come down just as fast as they go up.
One of the best things that you've said to me before that really resonated with me, here's a compliment, is you control.
A compliment from me? What the heck? I don't remember this.
Knew me. One of the best things that you've said is you control how much you lose. You're in control of what you lose, not the market. It's you. It's you. You made the plan. You decided if you wanted to short a low float that you couldn't control with big volume. You decided that you weren't going to stick to your plan, or you decided not to make a plan. It's always in your hands how much you lose. And I was like, wow. It's like, wow. It's Martin Luther King Day. Tim Bone's like white version of Martin Luther King.
I mean, because ultimately, just like your Mara trade, I mean, you can't control how much you make. I mean, ultimately, you stopped out for a small profit. But yeah, I mean, as a speculator, as a manager of risk, ultimately, that's our, again, we don't want to blow up our account like day trader Dave did and then go get another loan. And within minutes, I mean, you look at the video, I don't even think the light got any darker behind him. I mean, it was like an hour later and he's down 50%, Now, again, he said, I can't believe I'm down 9.5%. That was probably, it would have been a stinging loss, but 9%, I mean, it stinks, but it's not going to blow up his account. And then he's 30, and then you mentioned later in the video he's down 50. That's not controlling your risk.
Nah, you've got to have a pain threshold. Like, the one thing I'm dead proud of is that although I've done dead stupid stuff and I've had $1,000 losses and I've even had a $1,900 loss at one point, very up and down. I've had $1,000 days on the flip side. But the one thing I'm proud of is I've never let myself go below 25,000 on the account. I've not even come near it. Like, I will not risk it. The aim of the game is to protect yourself, protect your account until you know enough stuff and you've seen enough stuff to survive and grow.
Yeah, the number one rule is, stay in the game. No one trade is going to make your career, but one trade can ruin your career.
No, because honestly, the thought of blowing up the account would be just unbearable. I would never even risk it. But I would like. Have you blew many accounts up, Tim?
I've never completely blown up an account, but I have come close. Yes. Again, one of the worst losses was trying to trade a triple leveraged ETF back in 2007, 2008, back when the FAS and FAZ, a lot of guys will know those names. Didn't completely blow up an account, but came really close. And I mean, ultimately you learn from it. I said, I'm never going to trade a triple leveraged ETF again. And I haven't in 7 years since.
So by that, we're talking like more than 2,000, more than 5,000 loss.
Oh, it was like $8,000. Yeah.
$8,000. Jesus Christ. Cause I've lost $1,900 in a trade on a day and wanted to jump off a bridge, but you $8,000 is tough. That's a tough one, but you learn.
Yeah. Well, and ultimately you tell yourself, I never want to get back there. It's like we talk about burning your hand on the stove, and I burnt my hand on the stove, and I don't touch triple leverage ETFs because of it. So.
Okay. I hope I learn from you and I don't have bigger losses than 2,000, but knowing how stupid I am, I probably will. But okay, next myth. Myth 3 is you can make thousands in a matter of minutes. I think this is a cool guy.
What up? My name is Steven, and I'm making this video because I saw an advert from Timothy Sykes, and it was like, you can make money really quick. Why don't you try it? It's you'll make all these thousands of dollars in whatever, like in a matter of minutes. And I was like, oh my god, how many of these videos if I saw, they're all exactly the same. And then I saw he was like on CNBC and CNN and all of these different channels, and I was just like, maybe this is slightly legit. And I looked into it, and
okay, true. Whoa, maybe this chisel is real. False. I can't remember what the red thing said on the screen, but false. False is false.
So right. So number one, geez, I tell you, I make fun, I pick on short sellers a lot, man. Being a diehard short has aged you. That video was like a year ago, and you look like you look 20 years older today. Jiminy crickets.
I'm older. My skin is redder, and I'm fatter, and I've got more wrinkles, and it's in 18 months or something, 19 months. This is what it is, man. I got obsessive and I started doing stupid amounts of trading, stupid amounts of hours. It's bloody made us grow old. But it's been a good ride.
So again, is it true you can make thousands of dollars in minutes? Yeah. I mean, guys do it every day. But
yeah, no, I've done it.
But the big asterisk is, can you do it with no education? Can you do it day one? Can you do it day 10? Can you do it day 100? No.
Yeah, no, for sure. It takes time to build up your account. I mean, by the time I made $1,000 in a day, it took a year and a half for us to save money out of my wages every single month. And then I had to have the confidence to risk the money to know that I wasn't going to do something stupid. I mean, when you first start trading, you risk $1,000 and you're shaking and sweating. You're so scared. For some reason, everyone gets it. But over time you grow.
Yeah. And so ultimately I would say that this one is true with a caveat, definitely, with an asterisk. Yeah. I mean, yes, you can make thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars in minutes day trading, but you can't do it without education. You can't do it without experience. Again, we talk about my big losses. You talk about your big losses. That is part of as an overnight success. No such thing unless you win the lottery, and most of those people end up hating their lives anyway. But nobody, whether you're a plumber, a YouTuber, a trader, an electrician, a truck driver, a restaurateur, nobody's successful overnight.
And it's not even about that, man. Like what I learned was I thought I was in it for the money in the beginning, and then it's more for like the self-development and you improving your self-confidence, thinking, wow, I can be good at this. I can stick this. I can be consistent at something. Look how much I've improved since 6 months ago. Like that's the real value, more than the money for me anyway.
Yeah. And that's, again, when you talk about day trader myths, it's like the problem is, yes, ultimately this myth is what is part of the problem. Because ultimately, I'm sitting here saying, yes, you can make $10,000 in a minute. So day trading gives you that unrealistic expectation. Again, no one is like, man, I really like being an electrician. I'm going to make $10,000 in a minute, as an electrician. Now, maybe you become a journeyman, and then you become a master, and then you own an electrical company, and then you build a skyscraper, and then you're making $10,000 a minute. But nobody gets a set of wire splitters and some screwdrivers and expects to make thousands of dollars tomorrow. Nobody has that expectation. Day trading creates that because ultimately you could get lucky. I mean, anyone could make their first trade and make $1,000. You know, that could happen.
But ultimately as well, though, it's just for me, the longer I've been in it, the funner it's got. The more you learn, the funner it gets. Like, it's so much fun. And being an electrician, after 10 years of being an electrician, you're going to think I'm pretty bored of doing electrical stuff. Like, trading doesn't get boring, eh? Not for me. It's even better. It gets better. It gets more and more fun.
You know, one of the reasons we're doing the Steady Trade podcast is, there's also always a problem of over trading and trying to trade too much. I mean, we do the Steady Trade podcast because we want to entertain others, educate others, and I just flat out love talking about stocks all day long. So
with me, isn't that bless? Just love
hashtag blessed. Yeah.
Hashtag bless. Jeevan and stem. No, that doesn't work. All right, what's the next myth? Myth 4, you can learn to trade in a week.
About a week ago, I downloaded a stock trading app called Robinhood, and I knew absolutely nothing about the stock market. And today, I can watch a video like this.
And then I saw when it hit the resistance, it ended up opening at 130, and then I saw when it hit the resistance at 140. I'm going to get a little bit closer. It built a new resistance at 165 and a new support at 160. It looks like it broke that support.
And I actually understand it. In this video, I'm going to run you through what I did to learn the stock market in a week and hopefully save you some headache and show you some shortcuts.
True. Damn, he got us. We're criminals. False. We be like that guy's talking shizzle.
So you have recorded your entire journey on learning to day trade. I think you're about 14 or 15 months into this. Why didn't you do it in a week? Should have been like one video and you would be done.
Guys, I was going to do a 2-year, 3-year journey, but no point. No, I figured it all out just this week. I figured it out all in a week. So there's no more YouTube channel anymore. It's done. Now, this, I mean, I couldn't watch the video and think, I mean, I don't want to slag him off, but he's doing it for clickbait, and I think he's being a bit of a douche, and he's disrespecting the profession. You cannot learn the market in a week. That's such bullcrap. I mean, can you learn a lot?
Can you learn a lot in a week? Sure, but I mean, if you think anybody, just because you know what support and resistance are, if you think you're ready, you're going to end up like Super Day Trader Dave.
Yeah, and why not just say, I learned about support and resistance this week. I understand the absolute basics of it, because honestly, it's been, like you say, maybe 16 months or something for me now, and I'm still massively learning new things about support and resistance on different time frames, and I'm still realizing every day that I'm not taking it seriously enough. So I don't know how he learned.
Yeah, and again, Evidently, I'm even more of an idiot than you are, Steven, because I'm 10 years into this and I'm not done. I learn something new every day. I mean, I could probably swing my laptop. I mean, I've got 150 trading books over there. I've got, I'm always researching, always learning, always reviewing trades, always trying to get better. I'm 10 plus years in, and I still don't have it all figured out by any means. So I'm even more of a screw up than you are.
But then he goes on later on in the video and being like, yeah, it's not for me. I made a couple of trades. I didn't really make any money. I'm like, well, you didn't really learn it if you didn't make any money. I think to make a statement like that, you've got to be Jesse Livermore. You've lived the dream.
Well, and again, I talk about this every day in StocksToTrade Pro. I mean, if you are not comfortable with losing, then trading is not for you. I mean, if you expect to win every time, then you're doomed. That's how bag holders are created, because you think, oh, this is going to come back, this is going to work, whatever. But you have to be okay with losing, because it is going to happen every day, every week, every month. You're going to lose. And again, I didn't watch the whole video, but if you're telling me he made 2 trades, lost, and then is like, well, this doesn't work. He goes from learning it in a week to figuring out it doesn't work after 2 trades. I mean, that's just,
yeah, he's like, it's not for me. But that's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Like, you're dead right that you've got to take the losses, because you can look at a situation and think, roughly 7 out of 10 times this works. But that time that you go in that trade, you have zero control over what's going to happen. None. You have no idea what variable is going to shape out. So you've got to expect, right? This is one of the 3 of the 10 times that it didn't work. This is one of the 7.
Ultimately these stocks are news driven. You could go along the best looking blockchain related stock, and then all of a sudden some government cracks down on cryptocurrencies and the thing drops 20%. You did all your research, you did everything right, and then some foreign government decides to do something and the trade doesn't work. Well, that has nothing to do with you. That doesn't mean you're not a good trader, but that's why you have a stop loss, and that's why you have to be okay with losing. Because if you blame yourself, when a trade doesn't work, well, welcome to the, self-loathing anonymous.
We should do it no, and that's why you've got to not get too attached to a stock and not get too attached to a plan, because ultimately you're just playing the odds. You're just playing the odds at the end of the day. I think a good catchphrase to come out of this, we should make t-shirts. If we ever do steady trade t-shirts, we'll do one which says, "Don't do it, Dave." Don't be like Dave. Don't do it, Dave.
I did actually like something you touched on earlier when, it was just in real passing, but I did like the, we might have a t-shirt for the Steven Johnson isms. And I want to get one that says Steven really? Johnson ism, pretty ethical to a degree. I did like that.
Yeah.
So.
We'll have to get. We'll talk to the producer. We'll ask people to comment below if they actually would buy a steady trade top or a t-shirt, and if we get enough interest, we'll start selling them. Because I'm sure we can make some cool ones.
So actually, the last episode, I think it was a couple episodes ago. It was the episode on that you blew up an account on, which I thought was a great episode. I didn't listen to it until the other day, and I just heard the outro, and I wanted to give credit, Aaron. Hopefully, Aaron, you're still listening. Aaron, again, the Steven Johnson blow-up episode is really good. Listen to it, but particularly check out the ending. Aaron submitted audio. If you go to SteadyTrade.com, we've got a button that you can submit your questions or submit your audio. So I did want to give a shout out to Aaron for his pit bull running analogy.
Can we play it again? Because people have to hear this again. Mr. Producer, can we play it again?
Hi, this is Aaron, aka Double A Ron from New York City, and I like to go outside and find a stray dog, preferably an aggressive breed like a pit bull or a Rottweiler. Then I get real close, stare it down eye to eye until it starts to chase me. Then I run. That's right, I run while listening to Steven and Tim on the Steady Trade podcast. You can register to win real actual prizes at their website, SteadyTrade.com. And if you really like what you hear, give the podcast a 5-star rating and write a glowing review on iTunes. I did, and this is how we say goodbye in New York City.